Hello! I'm on a roll today recording videos while I'm driving. Hope you don't mind. I wanted to talk really briefly, and I know I say this all the time, but I'm really going to make this brief because I'm picking my daughter up from school and I just don't have a lot of time to blab. But I think it's important for people who grew up in traumatic environments and dysfunctional families. I think it's important that they recognize that through coping mechanisms, they've had to create masks that they've had to put on to deal with certain people, certain situations. A lot of times, these dysfunctional people are our parents, and that is my situation. I grew up with a dysfunctional mother, a father who was never around, and then the majority of the people in my family were dysfunctional. So as a child, I had to form a coping mechanism to deal with these people, and that is the mask, right? And I mean, depending on who you are and what type of research you do, you'll see things like, oh, well, the narcissist wears a mask, and people can label this mask wearing as such a negative thing, when in reality, it is extremely normal for people in traumatic situations, dysfunction, to create these masks. And identify the fact that you have created these masks is a huge accomplishment, because once you start recognizing that you had to put a mask on to deal with a certain person, like I know I have a mask that if I had to deal with my mother, I haven't spoken to her in almost a year, but if I had to speak to my mother, I would dig through my archives and I would pull out the mask that pertains to her. Or if I had to, I don't know, let's say I had to go to the police station and get a parking permit, because that's something I had to do recently. I know that when I go in there, I'm going to be, Miss Nice, and, it's like a little bit of mask that I put on because I have to have some type of civil conversation with someone that I don't know, right? So it's like, when you look at that and you think about how we have these multiple masks that we wear, don't look at it as a negative factor. Just kind of say to yourself, like, okay, I understand that sometimes I have to have more than one mask to put on to deal with certain situations, certain people, certain environments, but just being aware of the fact that it's a mask and it's not your true self. And I think that that is pivotal. That is important, because when people have to put on a mask, they start to lose sense of who they are. Like, who am I? I feel like I have to be this way with this one, and I have to do this with this one. And at the end of the day, you're just you. You don't have to beat yourself up and say, oh, well, I have to put on this mask because I have. The day will come where you'll decide which masks you're going to give up. So like the very starting point of this is just knowing that it is okay to have masks, and that these masks were most likely formed by a coping mechanism based on this dysfunction that you've lived through. And that's all I had to say. I will make more videos about it, but I just want to keep it brief because I feel like that is such an important fact. To even tack extra things on top of that, I don't even think it's worth it. I think for people who can't even understand that, understanding that is going to be big. So I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you. Bye.